Good morning. It's now 10 a.m., the scheduled start time of the meeting. My name is John Lewin, CEO of K92 Mining, Inc. I welcome you to the company's 2026 Annual General Meeting of Shareholders. We're pleased to host the meeting in person in Vancouver and through this virtual meeting platform, accessible to all our shareholders regardless of physical location, to participate, submit questions, and vote. I'd like to introduce you to Anne Giardini, Chair of K92, who will chair this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. I officially call the meeting to order and appoint Nancy Lacouvet, Corporate Secretary of the company, to act as Secretary of the meeting, and Sonia Handa of TSX Trust Company to act as Scrutineer of the meeting. Only registered shareholders who held K92 Mining shares in their name as of April 16, 2026, the record date of this meeting, or their validly appointed proxy holders are entitled to vote at this meeting. To expedite the meeting, we will deal with the formal business of the meeting first, and afterward, David Medlek, K92's President and COO, will give a presentation and will also be available to answer any questions that you may have. I will now start the formal business of the meeting. On April 28, 2026, the Notice of Meeting, Notification of Notice and Access, Form of Proxy, and Request for Annual and Interim Financial Statements of the company were mailed to all of the shareholders of record as of the close of business on April 16, 2026. The affidavit as to how such mailing was prepared by TSX Trust Company and is available for inspection by any interested party. In view of this having been done, unless there is an objection, I will dispense with calling for reading of the notice, and I will take the notice of meeting as read. The declaration as to mailing will be filed with the minutes of this meeting to be retained by the Secretary with the records of the meeting. As such, proper notice of the meeting has been given. If you voted prior to the meeting by proxy, you do not need to cast your vote at this meeting unless you wish to change your vote. As specified in the notice of the meeting, the items of business for the meeting are to receive the audited financial statements of the company for the year ended December 31, 2025, to fix the number of directors at 7, to elect 7 directors for the ensuing year, to appoint the auditor for the ensuing year and to authorize the directors to fix the auditor's remuneration, and to approve a non-binding advisory resolution accepting the company's approach to executive compensation. All resolutions must be approved by a simple majority of votes cast either in person or by proxy as ordinary resolutions. We will conduct the votes on each of the matters by a poll. On a poll, every shareholder entitled to vote on the matter has 1 vote in respect of each share entitled to be voted on that matter and held by that shareholder. The poll will be open for all resolutions at the same time for shareholders attending virtually, which will allow you to choose to vote on each resolution immediately, or you can wait until the conclusion of discussion on each resolution before you cast your vote. For shareholders attending in person, you would have received a ballot when you arrived. The ballot will include each item of business being voted today. Please mark and sign your ballots as the meeting progresses if you have not already done so, and the scrutineer will collect them. Registered shareholders and their duly appointed proxy holders who attend the meeting virtually will have the ability to vote at the meeting if they have not yet voted by proxy, or to change their vote if they have already voted by proxy. Once voting is declared open, please click the voting button to the left of your screen. The text and voting choices will be displayed in the pop-up window. To vote, select your voting direction and click Submit to cast your vote. If you've already submitted your votes by proxy and don't wish to change your vote, no action is required. For registered shareholders and their duly appointed proxies only, there will be an opportunity to ask questions by text for each resolution in turn. To ask a question, please click Ask a Question. Your question will be answered during the meeting. Once discussion on all items of business has concluded, I will give you a minute to enter your votes online, and then I will declare voting closed on all resolutions. Preliminary voting results will be provided during the meeting, and final voting results will be provided after the conclusion of the meeting. The final results of the meeting will be announced in a news release and will be available on our website after the meeting. We will consider each of the items on the agenda in turn, responding to questions on that item of business, if any, while it is before the meeting. In order to expedite the formal business of today's meeting, I will make all of the motions. A seconder is not required. I now declare the polls open for all resolutions. I was advised by our scrutineer that there is a quorum present, being 2 persons present or represented by proxy who in the aggregate hold at least 25% of the issued shares of the company. I direct that the final report of the scrutineer be filed with the minutes of the meeting. The notice of the meeting having been given as required by the articles and by the Business Corporations Act, British Columbia, and a quorum being present, I declare this meeting to be duly called and constituted for the transaction of business. The last meeting of shareholders was held on June 10, 2025. I confirm the minutes from the 2025 Annual General Meeting reflect a true record of the proceedings. The minutes of that meeting are available for review by any shareholder. Unless anyone wishes to have them read, I will dispense with the reading of the minutes of the last Annual General Meeting, and the minutes will be taken as read and as approved and adopted as tabled. The initial item of business is consideration of the audited financial statements of the company and the report of the auditor. It's customary to have the meeting acknowledge receipt of the financial statements. A copy of the financial statements and auditor's report for the year ended December 31, 2025 is available on the company's website and the SEDAR website, as well as by request by the company should any shareholder wish to see them. Therefore, the audited financial statements of the company for the year ended December 31, 2025, and the auditor's report of those statements will be acknowledged as having been received. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I acknowledge the financial statements as having been received. The first item of business is the approval of an ordinary resolution setting forth the number of directors for the company at 7 for the forthcoming year. I move that the number of directors for the ensuing year be fixed at 7. Is there any discussion? If there are no questions, please cast your vote on item 1 by hitting the voting button before we move on to item 2. Please vote now. The second item of business is the election of directors by the company. Directors elected at this meeting will hold office until their successors are elected or appointed, subject to the company's articles and the Business Corporations Act, British Columbia. Each of Michael Carew, Mark Eaton, Anne Giardini, Saurabh Handa, Cindy LaBelle, Nan Lee, and John D. Lewins have informed the company that they will stand for election at this meeting, and they are management's nominees for election to the board this year. I nominate the following individuals as directors of the company to hold office until the next annual meeting of the company or until their successors are duly elected or appointed, subject to the provisions of the company's articles. Michael Carew, Mark Eaton, Anne Giardini, Saurabh Handa, Cindy LaBelle, Nan Lee, and John D. Lewins. Are there any nominations for other directors? Seeing no further nominations, I move that the nominations be closed. Are there any questions on this motion? If there are no questions, I ask that you please cast your votes on item 2 before we move on to item 3. Please vote now. A majority of the votes cast is in favor of the election of the nominees, and accordingly I declare the motion carried and the persons nominated are elected as directors of the company by acclamation to hold office until the next annual general meeting of the company, subject to the articles of the company and the Business Corporations Act, British Columbia. Appointment of auditor. The third item of business is the appointment of auditor of the company for the ensuing year and authorization of the company's directors to fix the remuneration of the auditor. I now move that PricewaterhouseCoopers LLP, Chartered Professional Accountants, be appointed as auditors of the company for the ensuing year, and that the directors of the company be authorized to fix the remuneration of the auditor. Is there any discussion? If there are no questions, I ask that you please cast your votes on item 3 before we move on to item 4. Please vote now. The first item of business is to approve an advisory resolution on the company's approach to executive compensation, as more particularly set out in the company's management information circular for the meeting. The text of the resolution to approve the company's approach to executive compensation is set out on page 17 and 18 of the Management Information Circular. I now move that the non-binding advisory resolution on executive compensation set out on pages 17 and 18 of the Information Circular be approved, which, unless your shareholder present desires a reading of it, I will not repeat. Is there any discussion? If there are no questions, I ask that you please cast your votes on item 4. Please vote now. Thank you. For those of you who have not yet voted on all of the resolutions and wish to do so, please do so now, as I will shortly close the poll. I will close the poll on all resolutions in 30 seconds to allow online viewers to catch up. I confirm the polls are now closed. I ask that the scrutineer provide their preliminary report on the results of the voting. I ask the Secretary to confirm receipt of the scrutineer's report and confirm that all resolutions are passed. The scrutineer has provided their preliminary report of the results of the voting at today's meeting. On the matter of setting the number of directors, I am advised by the scrutineer that greater than a majority of the votes cast have been voted in favor of setting the number of directors at 7. Therefore, I declare that this motion is carried. On the matter of the election of directors, I am advised by the scrutineer that greater than a majority of the votes cast have been voted in favor of election of all of the nominees, being Michael Carew, Mark Eaton, Anne Giardini, Saurabh Handa, Cindy Laval, Nan Lee, and John Lewins. Therefore, I declare that this motion is carried. On the matter of appointment of auditors, I am advised by the scrutineer that a greater than a majority of the votes cast have been voted in favor of the appointment of PricewaterhouseCoopers LLP, Chartered Professional Accountants. Therefore, I declare this motion is carried. On the matter of approval of the advisory resolution on executive compensation, I am advised by the scrutineer that greater than a majority of the votes cast have been voted in favor of the advisory resolution. Therefore, I declare that this motion is also carried. A news release disclosing the voting results will be issued and filed online on the Cedar Plus website and will be available on our website shortly. We have now concluded the formal business of the meeting. Is there any other business that anyone in attendance wishes to bring to the attention of the meeting? If there is no further business to be brought before the meeting, I declare that the formal part of this meeting is concluded.
Well, thank you. This concludes the formal portion of the meeting. I'd now like to introduce David Medilek, President and CEO of K92, who will present a corporate update. Following this, he is available to answer any questions you may have. You may submit questions through the Ask a Question icon that appears on your screen. Over to you, David.
Thank you, John. Just confirming that everyone can hear me and see the screen share. I'll take that as a yes. It is with great excitement to be providing a corporate update on K92 during a very transformational time for the company. Forward-looking and cautionary statements to read at your leisure. I've said it before and I'll say it again. K92 is a Tier 1 opportunity, a special situation in the precious metal sector. Effectively in May 2017, we made a disruptive near-mine infrastructure discovery called Core North. 2 to 3 times the thickness, 2 to 3 times the grade, plus better geotech, metallurgy, and geologic continuity compared to the Irma-Fimpa deposit that we were mining at that time. It effectively checked all the boxes for a highly productive underground mine. We rapidly pivoted to mining Core North, and in early 2018 we declared commercial production, largely self-funding multiple stages of expansion as shown on the chart on the bottom left. With our most transformational expansion, Stage 3 to 300,000 ounces gold equivalent per annum, now well underway, plus plans for a Stage 4 expansion to over 400,000 ounces gold equivalent per annum run rate, which I will go over later in the presentation. The geologic continuity is exceptional, and leveraging our free cash flow, We have significantly grown high-grade resources at Core and Judd, plus executed a disciplined porphyry program, as shown on the chart on the bottom right. The team is very experienced operating in Papua New Guinea, and last year the company celebrated its 10-year anniversary. Our balance sheet is strong and continues to strengthen, with free cash flow generation expected to accelerate. We remain strongly focused on ESG, with strong relations with government, community, and our workforce. And we see a strong re-rating potential, with over 40% re-rating to peer multiples implied on a price to net basis, while offering one of the best growth profiles amongst peers. In terms of the balance sheet, we ended Q1 with record cash position of $287 million and see the cash balance significantly growing over the course of the year. We are widely covered by investment banks, with over 12 banks having active coverage, and our shareholder register is strong. In terms of sustainability, we remain laser focused on doing the right thing. We are a major employer, major taxpayer, with strong environmental and safety performance, with rapidly expanding community, social, and infrastructure programs. The slide features our 2024 sustainability report, and I'm pleased to report that next week we plan to announce our 2025 sustainability report. In many of our press releases received locally in Papua New Guinea, we highlight that as the mine expands, so too do the benefits that our local communities in Papua New Guinea receive. And you will certainly see the year-over-year increase in benefits to the stakeholders in the 2025 sustainability report. We are very proud of the positive impact we are making. Looking back, 2025 was a transformational year for Kainantu. The company shows the photo shows the grand opening of the Stage 3 expansion, centered by the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, the Honorable James Marape, with then Mining Minister at the time, now Governor of Morobe Province, the Honorable Ray Lopaida, and local MP for Kainantu, the Honorable William Hagahuno, with our CEO, John Lewins, and Chair Ann Giardini, celebrating this major milestone. The plant was delivered under budget and is performing well, as I will go into later in the presentation. Our strategy has been to systematically expand Kainantu into a Tier 1 mid-tier producer. In 2020, we delivered Stage 3, doubling plant capacity to 400,000 tons per annum. In 2023, we delivered Stage 2A, increasing the capacity to 500,000 tons per annum. And in December 2025, we completed commissioning of a brand new standalone state-of-the-art 1.2 million ton per annum process plant, Stage 3, targeting 300,000 ounces gold equivalent per annum. The plant was designed and built to be easily expandable. The combination circuit is oversized, and allowances were made to enable cost-effective expansion of the flotation circuit and filter presses to increase capacity by 50% to Stage 4, which is 1.8 million tons per annum, targeting run rate production of over 400,000 ounces gold equivalent. As of the end of April, 98% of Stage 3 growth capital has been spent or committed, and the project remains on budget. The old Stage 2A plant remains available for other ore sources as they are developed. In terms of operational results, K92 has demonstrated a strong record of expanding production, as shown in the chart. In 2025, we achieved the upper half of our production guidance, and in 2026, we have had a good start to the year, with Q1 recording production moderately above budget, and we reiterate our production guidance for 2026 of 190 to 225,000 ounces of gold equivalent. In terms of physicals, we've demonstrated a strong track record of ramping up material movements and lateral advance, and I'm particularly pleased with the increase in development meters. In Q1, we marked a major milestone, a record, achieving the 1 kilometer per month requirement for the Stage 3 expansion. And in March and April, we delivered consecutive monthly development records, with April recording 1,109 meters of development, well exceeding the Stage 3 expansion requirement. We remain in a strong position to ramp up development and achieve the 1.2 kilometer per month requirement for the Stage 4 expansion later in the year, and are planning to exceed it in 2027. In terms of process plant performance, we're very pleased. Q1 marked the first month of the new Stage 3 expansion process plant operating. The plant achieved gold recoveries exceeding the updated DFS by 2.5%, with copper recoveries in line. Additionally, the plant has delivered numerous daily throughput records exceeding plant design nameplate. To achieve the Stage 3 and 4 expansion in terms of moving material from the underground, the mine is being transformed through several key enabler infrastructure upgrades. As you can see from the slide, there are quite a few check marks. The twin incline is complete, the ore pass system complete, Puma vent complete, and the internal ramp system complete, with the Puma vent and the internal ramp system actually completed last quarter. Over the next few slides, I'll go over each of these projects and the positive impact they bring. Starting with the twin incline, on the left is the incline we acquired with the asset, and on the right is the twin incline we developed. The twin incline is capable of operating trucks 50% larger and traveling 3 to 4 times the speed of the old incline. It is effectively an underground highway, enabling the operation of surface trucks that can report directly to the process plant, driving significant economies of scale. On January 24th, we are very pleased to achieve a major milestone, which is the completion of the internal ramp. This connects all mining fronts to the highly productive twin incline, turning the underground into one mine, as shown on the banner, bringing significant synergies through having one crew instead of 2 crew, which was one operating in the upper mine and one operating in the lower mine. In August of last year, we were pleased to have completed our first material pass, as shown in the images. This reports material roughly 350 meters vertically, leveraging gravity to the twin incline, where it then gets loaded on trucks, which is effectively the underground highway, delivering significant economies of scale. The second material pass is almost completed, and we'll look to have that operational by the end of the quarter. And in Q3, we plan to start development of a third material pass. Significant upgrades are being made to our ventilation circuit. As shown in the image is our vent chamber. This is an absolutely massive structure, 15 meters wide, 9.5 meters vertical, and at that profile actually 35 meters into the page, and it tapers for another 35 meters. Each motor on those fans is 1.85 megawatts, and this takes care of our ventilation requirements well beyond what we need today. It caters for stage 3, stage 4, and life of mine. To conserve power, these are variable speed fans, so we'll be able to operate it at 350 Qs per second initially. We plan to get these operational in the third quarter. We're currently doing an electrical run for it. In terms of the Puma vent incline, pleased to have broken through that in late February. This drove a 75% increase in our ventilation airflow. This meets the initial ventilation requirements for the stage 3 expansion. The team is about to install the life of mine geotechnical structures, which are the Armco tunnels. Concurrent with the underground infrastructure upgrades we are making, we have significantly opened up the underground mine. Front number 1 is where we've been mining since declaring commercial production. Front number 2 we call the lower core. We are pleased to have commenced a long hole stoping in April. And then front number 3 is what we call the twin incline front, where we look to start a long hole stoping first on the Judd vein in the third quarter. In addition, we've made significant increases to our mobile fleet to drive the expansion, as shown on the table. There is a particularly large increase to our load and haul fleet. The image on the right is one of 4 underground loaders that have arrived on site year to date. By the end of the year, we are scheduled to get another jumbo, which will position us to well exceed the 1.2 kilometer per month development rate required for the stage 4 expansion. The support from government has been very strong, and government has been, in our view, a key factor in the success of the operation. The slides here show the various site visits from government delegations, and we are very pleased to have hosted the mining minister, the Honorable Solomon Loifa, earlier this month. Looking at the Gantt chart, you will see that we are on the cusp of completing all the key enabler projects for the stage 3 expansion. This is an image of the new stage 3 expansion process plant, which, as I noted earlier, was completed under budget and is performing extremely well. In terms of our ancillary construction projects, they are largely complete. The phase 2 power upgrade was actually completed the other day. We are looking at doing a further expansion to the Community Creek camp, as you can see from the area that's been cleared, adding another 192 rooms. A major development focus for us this year in terms of infrastructure is the underground paste fill plant. As a reminder, the way that the circuit works is that we produce a tailings filter cake in the valley at the tailings filtration plant that's next to the process plant. That gets trucked up to a surface storage system staging area near the portal area, and then it gets trucked as required to the underground paste fill plant. All long lead time items have arrived on site. All contracts have been awarded and significant progress is underway. The first is the tailings filter plant construction was completed earlier this quarter, and you can see that in April we actually started commissioning of the filter cake. We are pleased with the performance of the filter press. The total moisture limit is actually better than the design, and that enables us to effectively transport the filter cake from the ballot up to the surface staging area near the portal. In terms of the surface storage area, that is tracking very well, rapidly moving along with the erection of structural steel, and we plan to get that completed in July. In terms of the underground paste silo, that is actually complete. The last pour was completed the other day, and they're in the process of installing a grizzly. We aim to get the paste fill circuit commissioned by the end of the year. In terms of the river crossings, the Balfa Bridge that was completed in April. The Kokomo and the Kasisi river crossings are planned to be completed in July. Concurrent with this, we are doing a major upgrade to the haul roads. This unlocks the ability to operate the 60-ton trucks underground, which would then report directly to the mill. Currently, as you can see from the Kasisi River crossing image, you can see the current bridge that has a payload restriction of 20 tons. So we're actually able to triple the payload of the trucks that we're operating, plus it's a much more efficient road through widening and straightening and smoothing out the gradients. In terms of exploration, we currently have 13 drill rigs operating. We have 6 underground. Those are targeting numbers 1 to 3, and then number 4 to 5 is targeted by the balance of our surface drill rigs. We are actually adding 2 more rigs. We had a rig arrive in country last month, which is being commissioned, and we plan to have another rig arrive next month to get that operating in July. Looking at Cora, the last set of results we put out was about 100 holes. That was out in February. Really pleased with the results. There's a few themes to highlight here. Number one, as you can see from the dashed ellipse in the upper part of the mine, we continue to increase the high-grade zones up dip through increasing the drill density. As you can see, some of the results at 18 meters at 11.7 grams, 4.4 meters at 29.6 grams. Concurrent with that, and what was particularly exciting from the drilling results was the extension of mineralization at depth. This is Cora Deeps, so one of the major areas that we're starting to focus on is pivoting from the infill drilling for the stage 3 expansion to now more step-out drilling. The mineralization has extended hundreds of meters below the twin incline and also the known resource, and some of the highlights are 8 meters at 10.2 gram per ton and 17.2 meters at 5 gram per ton gold equivalent. Similar story with Judd. Significant high-grade results recorded 300 to 400 meters below the twin incline in the known resource at 6.8 meters at 6.2 gram per ton and 8.5 meters at 8.64 gram per ton. Importantly, when you actually look at the lithology of the core, you'll see that it shows strong indications that the system remains robust at depth and that depth extension remains highly prospective. At Judd, we also extended high-grade mineralization up dip, 16.1 meters at 14.4 gram per ton and 5.5 meters at 67 gram per ton. From both long sections, you'll see that there are significant quadrants that have yet to be drilled, and we continue to believe that we are just scratching the surface. Another important item to flag with Cora is the significant high-grade copper zone as we go to the south and also at depth. Magenta in this long section actually represents over 4% copper, so very high grade. Arakompa, in terms of our regional exploration, is a major focus for us. It's located actually close to the process plant in Cora and Judd, roughly 4.5 kilometers away. We currently have 5 drill rigs operating, and we are targeting a maiden resource over the coming weeks. This just shows you the significant growth that we've achieved at Arakompa. In February 2024, we announced our initial drilling results with 1 drill rig operating, and now we have 5 drill rigs operating and have significantly expanded the strike. At Arakompa, there is both high-grade vein systems and a vault component, with the vault component shown on this slide. Speaking with our VPX, Rob Smiley, he is of the view that we have over 25 years of exploration drilling in front of us. We are very pleased that we have increased our exploration budget this year by over 50%, with a forecast of $31 to $35 million. And we believe, as I said earlier, that we are just scratching the surface. I will now hand it over for any questions. Thank you, Anne and John. There are no questions asked.
Thank you, everyone, for attending the 2026 AGM of K92 Mining. The meeting is now terminated.